episode of the Borderlands Project broadcast, and we're doing episode 4, and it's the fifth day of the new reality for those who are from Ukraine, like I used to live until about a week and a half ago, and those who are still there. And tonight we'd sent out an email, and I spoke to uh, people about bringing Yuri back on from the first lesson, who was setting up territorial defense, but he was not able to join us. He called me from his car on a video camera and explained the current situation. So I will just say that what he's doing right now is exactly what he said. And first of all, I just wanted to thank everyone who donated. He said he raised $7,000 over the last 3 days since that show from all over the world. People who donated to his defense of his neighborhood. They have 400 people in the neighborhood who, or in his town, who are signed up. They are in full coordination with the army, which is also in the area. They're west of Kiev, and most importantly, they are putting every piece of that donations to good use, and he wants to account for every penny of it and send a report. I just told him to make sure he does the first things first, which is set up the defense and just do what he needs to do on that, because I'll update the current situation a bit more in a moment, but I just wanted to say why Yuri's not on the show for good reason. He hopes to get back soon, but given the situation around Kiev, we don't know. I just wanted to introduce Helena, who can share a little bit of her experience being in Kiev at the beginning of the Russian invasion, and now how she's doing now. And known Helena for a while. We've worked together, and she's still in Ukraine, but in the West. And I'll just allow her to share what she's experienced, and then we'll update you more on Yuri's situation. So, Helena, how are you?
Hey Sam, good now, better now. And actually, I want to start with probably my trip to Truskovets. So let me give you, for those who don't know, Sam organized evacuation back right before everything started, maybe a month ago. He was precautioning everyone about what's going to happen and what could happen. And most of the team agreed to go to the Western Ukraine in Truskovets. And I wasn't intending to go first because my husband is a barber, so he can't like just go. He can just leave because he has clients and he has money to earn. So we were like hesitating of going until something serious really happens. But then everything started to escalate, and the news were not uplifting. So we decided to go at least for some time until everything calms down. So we went to Truskovets, which is in Western Ukraine, and we've been there for 7 or 10 days. I can't remember now. And like everything seemed fine, and there was no war at that time. And I think it was February 22nd. Yes, it was February 22nd when we left Truskovets. So my father picked us up. He just came back. He just came back from Spain, where he works now. And then we drove to Ternopil, which is my hometown. This is where my parents live. So we stayed there for a night, and then the next day we headed to Kiev. So my father took us to Kiev by car. It was me, my husband, and dog. And also my dad needed to do a checkup because he had cancer operation in the summer, and he needed to do a checkup. So on Wednesday, 23rd February,
22nd.
22nd February, we came to Kiev. And then the next day, Thursday, this was the day when my father needed to go to the doctor. And this was the first day, the start of the war in Ukraine, but not in Kiev, just in Kiev region. And of course, everyone freaked out. And my mom, who stayed in Ternopil, because there was no room in the car anymore. Like she was begging us to leave Kiev as soon as possible, but the roads were just stopped. Like it was such a huge traffic, especially where we live, which is the left bank in Kiev, Osokorki area. Like the cars were just not moving. They were just standing, waiting, and I don't know, like it was no move on the road at all, and we decided to wait uh, until Friday when the roads are freed a bit. So we did that. We went to bed. Everything seemed fine in Kiev that night, but then on Friday, which was February 24th, right? Friday, 3 a.m. Everyone wake up just because we felt something. Nothing happened just yet, but we felt something. I woke up and uh, I took pills, some pills to calm down. And my husband asks like, why do you take them? I said, I don't know, I just need them because for some reason I'm so nervous. And then in 1 hour at 4 a.m., 200 meters from our house, a missile dropped into a house, and it was I can't even tell you. It was just everything was red. We live on the 20th floor, and everything around us was red, and those sounds of bombs, of explosion, it was I can't tell you how it was. We went to the bathroom just because it would take us a lot of time to go to the bomb shelter. And yeah, we decided to then go to the bathroom. uh, I wrote in our chat, sent it as Ukraine, that this happened. And then Vlada, you all know Vlada, she called me to help me to find a bomb shelter. But we decided to stay in the bathroom. It was 4 a.m. So we panically started packing the apartment, which we rent. So we didn't actually pack the whole apartment. We left half of stuff there. And at 7 a.m., we escaped Kiev. Uh, it was it was tough. Thankfully, the roads were safe. There was no fighting or bombing while we were driving, but we saw troops, we saw our troops, and like tanks. It was horrifying, like a horror film, but reality. Um, so yeah, at the end, we are all now safe here all together. The road took us 15 hours or 16 hours instead of the regular 5 hours, which it usually takes to get from Kiev to Ternopil. So yeah, here it's safer, not maybe as safe as outside of Ukraine. We hear sirens day and night, so they don't stop. But nothing happened just yet, and I hope it will not. But we'll see.
And Helena, one of the things I wanted to point out about your evacuation was because of this project. I've gotten a lot of people reached out to me, including an old friend of mine who's in Army intelligence, and we were able to talk through the safe route out of Kiev. So I just wanted to thank the person who gave us that advice, because we were able to send you, I think, to a much better route, which was less direct, but probably a lot faster and a lot less traffic. And it was really important. So I'm glad that we had that
Yeah.
person who reached
I
out to us.
forgot to mention this. And thank you, Sam, for delivering this information to us, because we did follow your advice, and we did took that two roads that you mentioned. So yeah, it was safer and faster indeed. And again, thank you, Sam, for um, doing this for the team. And I wish I stayed in Truskavec for just one day longer, so I didn't have to, pack and then unpack my uh, suitcases like an idiot.
Yeah. No, it was really tough. I mean, it was very stressful on the team waiting on something that might not happen, and I know how hard that was for everyone because life until something like this happens has to go on. And just Helena, you're actually we've been working together for a while, and I'm having you volunteer part of your time on this as we get this stood up. I just wanted to give a quick update on the project as it's growing because just putting this out there in 4 nights with just social media channels and emailing the people that are part of our client base and our two companies, we've gotten a tremendous outpouring of support to help continue to evacuate people beyond you and the team and get them resettled and cover those costs. And we've been able to bring in members of the team who got out safely to work on helping other people. And we believe it's very important to pay it forward to the rest of those who are still trying to get out. And today I met with a team of developers, a whole dev shop, an owner of a developer shop in Poland said, we want to volunteer and help build some technology for this organization. And we had a design shop and a senior technical architect. And I was sitting there on this group of people who want to volunteer and help just because they hear stories like yours and other people who, you know, have gotten out or want to get out like you or is been great. And I just appreciate you helping out on the project. We've worked together for a long time and you're very good at um, putting things together and making sure we do these shows in the future. And in fact, I've decided with the team to do a better quality show and to be able to do more planning for each show. We're going to move to, I think, 2 days a week for now. So we'll do the next one on Thursday because I want to make sure we line someone up who can, the long-term vision for the Borderlands project is I believe in my heart that Ukraine is going to remain free and be able to determine their own destiny. That's all of our feeling after seeing the amazing resilience and courage of the Ukrainian president, government, and the people. But we don't know how long this conflict is going to take. There's peace talks, and I have not a lot of they ended today inconclusively, and they say they're going to meet uh, maybe in the future. But in the meantime, there's a lot of forces gathering around Kiev, so there's some tough days ahead for sure for the people of Ukraine. But this was something I planned on doing long before this happened. I've been writing on my blog at my tech company about Ukraine for many months and several months, long before this crisis took off, became into the consciousness. And before it was a thing, I wanted to promote Ukraine as a really the future of uh, the digital world in terms of the tech talent, people like Helena and all the amazing developers and technical people and just people who understand how to work very well online and the spirit of the people. I'd seen that up close for living there for 3 years. So that's where the Borderland project is coming. Is we have people who coming together, and we're going to turn this into a nonprofit very shortly as we take care of the short-term needs of the people I evacuated from my companies and beyond. They're going to start helping other people get out that want to get out of Ukraine, or people who are staying in Ukraine and want medical supplies, military support like Yuri. We just want to help the country survive and then rebuild from this conflict. And that's really what the Borderlands project is turning into, is a formal nonprofit that we hope to set up soon. And I just met with some Americans who are in Warsaw, who are Fulbright scholars who just left the country before this happened, and they want to volunteer. And one's a lawyer, one's a Ukrainian historian like I am, but much better than I am and much more well connected, who can help us find great guests for the podcast in the future of people who really have been leading thinkers on Ukraine's history and story. And so that's really where we're going with this podcast, is to try and find amazing guests like Glenn last night and Yuri, and just tell the stories of the people who are fighting for really the future, not just of Ukraine, but of Europe and the world. And this principle that in this world, countries, no matter what their size, get to determine their future, and they don't have to be, quote unquote, falling into a coercive sphere of influence. But it's very, uh, it's something they choose. I mean, Ukraine today signed the accession application for the European Union, and amazingly, I think they have a better shot than ever of getting that accession, because based on the courage of the Ukrainian people, ordinary people going out in front of tanks, all the way up to the president refusing to leave Kiev, even though there's squads of people hunting him down from Russian special groups, I think has really given the West a lesson in what it means to stand up and fight for the values the West talks about, which they have, I think, really failed in defending in Ukraine up until this point. And they're starting to get more active, thank goodness, on sanctions and more weapons. But anyway, Helena, I just wanted to thank you for stepping into the project, to introduce you to the people who you're going to be helping, and just let you know you've made a real difference already, just getting to safety and getting on the team, and look forward to producing great shows with you, twice a week in the future as the main manager of this show. So thanks, Helena. And just give a little bit of your background, Helena. What did you study? What do you want to do long term? And we've actually worked together for a while, but
We've actually worked together for almost 4 years, Sam.
no, I can't hear you, Helena. I don't know if you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now? No?
Hold on.
Let me refresh.
Maybe it's me. My headphones. Can you hear me? So Helena's. Are you back, Helena? Okay, sorry about that, Helena.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've actually been working together for almost 4 years, Sam.
Yeah.
Which seems crazy. Yeah. A bit of my background, I studied translation studies, and I did a little bit of that. I did translation for voiceover company. So I translated TV series from English into Russian. And then it seemed quite boring for me. So I decided, like, okay, knowing foreign language is cool, but doing something else and knowing something else is far more cooler. So okay, it looks like Sam.
I'm here.
Okay,
I'll be right
okay.
here. I'm listening.
So I decided to then switch to another field, and this is how I found out about James Cook Media, Sam's first company. And I applied because, like everyone else, the videos of Sam, uh, you know, I liked them, and they forgot this word. Yeah, I just felt like I need to work for this guy, and I went for interview, and the position I took was not very cool position. Not my favorite one. I was doing subtitles, not doing them for long, for about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then they gave me my first client without any experience. Andrew Hackett. This is my very first and my favorite client ever. And
He was watching last night, by the way, Helena. He might be
oh,
watching again.
nice. Andrew, if you're watching this, hello.
We miss you.
Yeah, he messaged me last night about how I am. Yeah. Anyway, so I started then doing project managing, and I think I was doing that quite well. Then I did a bit of directing with Sam on the filming set. This is what I enjoyed the most, because I have a bit of a background in theater and filming. Uh, didn't reach huge success with filming, with being on camera. You probably know because you're not seeing me in Hollywood films, but we'll get
Not
there.
yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
You just haven't been discovered yet. You're
Yes,
gonna get there.
yes. And yeah, then I took a little break from Sam for like 2 months, and then I came back to Santidesk. Thank you, Sam, again for this opportunity, and I'm here with Santidesk, helping clients build their businesses online,
Mhm.
and yeah, now hopefully growing this Borderlands project into something huge and something that really matters. It already does matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So Helena, thank you for that, and just thanks for coming on and sharing your experience. I know that was a pretty terrifying night, and I'm glad you got out safely. And more importantly, I think for all of us who got out early is to try and help support those with, if they manage to assess whether it is safe to get out, because it's hard for us to give that advice anymore because we just don't know what's going on. There's so much activity around Kiev. I don't recommend it actually, but you know, coordinating with your local authorities and them advising you on whether it's safe is the best bet. And if people do make it to the west, we're happy to connect with people in Lviv, where we have a place for people to stay, Truskavets, where just give people a rest before they can get across the border and advise them what's the right crossing for them, because the border crossings are changing all the time in terms of how long it takes. And if people just feel free to call us or go to our go to our site, submit a ticket, talk to our live chat, and hopefully get near instant response or very quick response where we can call you and discuss what you're trying to do and your options. And for those that are in a zone where they're maybe not able to escape, I've offered myself and Alex and a couple of our members of our team who are figuring that out, safety and security and survival, to just be able to talk to people who need support. And sometimes it's just a question of calming people down and getting them to the point where they can breathe and think again, because I know that's a really tough spot to be in. So thank you very much, Helena, and I know that people are really going to appreciate your work going forward as we keep improving the quality, planning, content, and agenda of this show. So thanks, Helena, and I'll finish it
Thank you.
up here with a quick update for everyone, and we'll end this show out. So, all right. Okay, so yeah, that was Helena. I brought her on because I wanted to introduce her story because she did want to share it, and her family are safe in the West, relatively safe because we don't know what's going to happen next. Yuri came on, and again, he was extraordinarily thankful and just wanted to pass along to everyone how much the donations meant to him and his territorial defense. They have over 400 people in his village. And the way he explained it to me is the army is there, but the territorial defense is serving as a reconnaissance or intelligence arm of the army, where they look at everyone and everything coming through and check that there's no saboteurs coming through. Russians have been getting into the capital in civilian clothes or in ambulances or police clothes and trying to assassinate political leaders, including the president. So they view that as their job, is to create this fortress around the capital, where his village is on the outskirts of Kiev. And just a quick update on what's going on inside of Kiev or around Kiev is there continues to be a very large mass of Russian troops coming from the north, mainly from the north and the northwest, bearing down in huge columns, lining up towards Kiev. And there's also plenty of uh, airborne soldiers that have been dropped out in this area. And as Glenn described to us last night, that they're being hunted down by the local territorial defenses. But we don't know. It's hard to tell what forces are out in this area. And this is the situation as it stands right now. Actually, this is until 28 February. You can see that all forces right now in the Russian forces are converging on Kiev. And my intelligence source that I speak to confirms everything that's on social media. He basically says it looks like everything is massing to surround Kiev and to create effectively what is what might turn into an old-fashioned siege, which is surrounding a city, cutting it off. There's word tonight that the communications may be cut off, so we may not be able to speak to Yuri or other people inside the zone unless they have some satellite. If Elon parachutes in some Starlinks into Kiev, or something else is going to happen. So that's what we are expecting. And my assessment from last night is that the spirits of the people in the city, like Yuri defending it, are very high. David, who was also there, but things are getting tough because of the supply of food and medicine is not going to be replenished. Power is probably going to go out soon, and there's going to be just increased. What you started to see today was, rather than precision strikes, just bombing of neighborhoods in cities in Kharkiv in the northeast, and what's happening in Kiev also, which are going to lead to a lot more civilian casualties between artillery and airstrikes. So it's very dire situation that is facing the capital. But spirits are high of people like Yuri, and thank you everyone who supported that, and we'll continue to create this project, which will turn into an enduring nonprofit that supports Ukraine in the long road ahead to both, hopefully, in the near term, a quick end to this conflict, and a successful one, and an independent and free Ukraine that we can help rebuild. I spoke to my fiance today, and we definitely all intend to go back if Ukraine remains, and we believe it will, a free, independent, and free to choose its relationships going forward, which is they want to be part of Europe, the European Union, and hopefully even NATO, if that becomes a possibility now. So that's all I have for the show tonight. I just wanted to update everyone on the timing, what we're going to be doing going forward. Expect us to set another time, which we'll email out or post out. For Thursday is the plan. We're going to look at doing something on Mondays and Thursdays going forward, but we will be flexible if there's a need to do something in between based on the event. So thank you again for your attention and your support, and all the ways that you can help out the Borderlands Project are right below this video on whatever channel you're watching it on, and how you can support us in building this organization, people like Yuri directly, and other causes like the Ukrainian military, which I think has raised several $100 million from across the world now from its own fundraising. So thanks again, and I hope this is helpful. And if any of you have any way that you want to help out beyond the funding, or you need to connect us with someone in Ukraine who we can try to help, please also click on the link to the borderlands.com.ua site, which is below this video. Thank you very much. Have a good night.